Welcome to the deep dive. Our mission today is it's highly practical, but it's also deeply emotional.
It really is.
We're tackling the universal stress of blending these big social events, like the festive season, with cold, hard financial realities.
And this is a challenge that came right from a listener, and it's one everyone faces. I mean,
Yeah.
how do you hold on to the joy and the connection of these important times when you know you have a very real, non-negotiable financial limit?
Yeah,
The feeling is immediate, and it can be incredibly isolating.
exactly. We pulled a pretty unique stack of source material for this dive. It's not, complex economic theory. It's a detailed look at conversational language lessons all centered around money.
hmm
So the scripts, the vocabulary, the emotional concepts that sort of translate that financial pressure into clear, actionable advice.
Think of it as a social and financial roadmap. The holiday period, or really any high-spending season, it's defined by these two conflicting forces.
Yeah.
On one side, you've got all the external
The
joy,
decorations, the festive songs.
right? That sense of limitless possibility.
Hmm.
But then on the challenging side, you have the internal calculations, the presents, the costly dinners, the trips, and, well, those restricted financial limits.
Oh, I know that moment of truth. You're out with friends, you're having a good time, and then someone proposes something that sounds innocent, a lavish dinner or a high-limit gift swap, and
Yeah,
boom, suddenly that internal frantic calculation just kicks in. You can feel your bank balance tense up. It's like it's silently saying, can we have a quick private conversation?
it's frightening because it feels like a silent failure. If you say no, you worry you're going to look cheap or unenthusiastic.
Right.
But if you say yes, you risk your financial stability. So our mission for this deep dive is to unpack those silent feelings and really to arm you with the straightforward language you need to manage expectations and spending limits without feeling, well, without feeling guilty or overwhelmed.
Okay, let's jump right into that feeling then. When the sources talk about the emotional state of operating with a tight budget, what is the core psychological pressure? It's more than just lacking money, isn't it?
Oh, it is entirely about tension.
Hmm.
The sources describe it as this immediate feeling, almost like someone is gripping your wallet and just whispering, be cautious. Every choice counts.
Mine.
You feel your finances are being restricted, and that restriction clashes directly with a seasonal expectation of abundance.
And it's the contrast that makes it so painful. Externally, everything is flashy promotions, dazzling decorations, people showing off new outfits, new experiences.
Hmm.
But internally, you're quietly running these cost analyses. My finances are restricted. I need to be careful, not just today, but for next month's bills.
And that contrast is amplified, exponentially by the social media effect. You scroll through your phone,
Yeah.
and it looks like everyone else is just sending without limits.
Huge packages, enormous trees.
Enormous, perfectly decorated trees, people traveling.
Hmm.
And it feeds this really toxic thought. Is everyone else financially comfortable except me?
And that thought, that's what creates the pressure to match. The idea that happiness or, social acceptance is tied to material output. That internal pressure forces you to mentally calculate the cost of everything. The gift wrapping, the gas for the visit, the small treats, all while everyone around you seems so happy and limitless.
And we really need to acknowledge what limited finances means in this context.
Mhm.
It means you can cover your regular living expenses, but those costly extras are genuinely difficult.
Sure.
The sources, they really highlight what it means to be truly out of money, having nothing left, genuinely zero wiggle room. And that's the deepest form of financial restriction. Many people in our audience know this feeling deeply. Students, people just starting out, or those supporting family in other places.
So we have to start by reframing this central concept. The source material is adamant about this. A budget is not a negative word. It's not a barrier. It is simply your financial roadmap.
We have to reclaim that word. The moment you start seeing your budget as a negative, a limitation that's imposed on you, you feel resentment, you feel
Yeah.
deprivation.
Yeah, of course.
But when you define it as a roadmap, it becomes a tool of control. It becomes foresight. For example, my holiday spending plan is $50. That roadmap directs me to purchase modest, thoughtful gifts, and it ensures I have enough for groceries, but nothing extra.
That shift from deprivation to proactive planning is just key. I love the anecdote the source material shared. Being in a new city, new job, modest income, friends are dining at these upscale places, buying lavish gifts, but the internal necessity was just, I'm just trying to save up for next month's rent.
Exactly. Your roadmap protects the fundamentals.
It's the difference between that external pressure and your internal necessity.
And when you say, I am saving up, that's a proactive action. It means you're accumulating funds gradually for something significant, like a computer or a down payment or next month's rent.
Mhm.
You aren't being restrictive. You're prioritizing.
Which leads us right into the vocabulary we need to talk about this clearly, which is our segment 2. We aren't lecturing anyone on, basic accounting here,
No. Yeah.
but we need the specific, simple language from the source material to articulate these concepts socially.
Precisely. Clarity removes that emotional fog. So let's look at the terms that carry the most weight.
Hmm.
Tight budget. We now understand that just means working with limited funds. It requires caution and focused planning. It is a statement of fact, not an apology.
And when you're working with that tight budget, you are inherently reducing spending. The listener knows what this means, but the important social application is knowing why you're doing it. It's a choice to decrease purchases to reach a bigger goal. You're exercising control.
And to execute that control, you're monitoring expenses. You're tracking how much money is being used. This isn't tedious. It's what keeps your financial roadmap accurate. It prevents that sudden panic we talked about when the bill arrives.
But the simple truth that underlies all of this is the statement: money isn't limitless.
That's the one.
That is the core defense mechanism. Funds do not come easily. They are earned through work, time, and energy. We need to normalize saying that out loud.
And this truth becomes critical when you're facing the family challenge. The pressure mounts when family members, often coming from a place of love but just lacking context, don't understand your roadmap. They ask, why don't you buy something big? It's only once a year.
And the internal, truthful response has to be solid. You don't owe them a breakdown of your checking account, but you can state the simple fact: because money isn't limitless, and I need to prioritize my savings goal right now.
The sources give you permission to hold that boundary. When you are managing a tight budget, you are being financially responsible. And that is a strength, not a weakness.
Recognizing this leads us to the heart of the matter, really: the gifts themselves. If money is limited, we have to challenge the toxic assumption that if a gift isn't expensive, it lacks value.
That assumption creates massive debt.
It does. Do gifts always need to be large and costly to be appreciated?
Absolutely not. And the sources offer this beautiful definition of the meaningful gift. It's a gift that is filled with emotion and demonstrates consideration. That's the metric we should be focusing on.
Consideration.
Consideration is the crucial element. It means genuinely thinking about the person, their specific preferences, their current needs, what will truly resonate with them, completely separate from the price tag. The thought is what differentiates the gift from just a transaction.
This source provided 2 really great examples: a small, high-quality journal with a message written inside about the value of your friendship. That's modest, but it's full of meaning.
Right.
Or a card made by hand containing specific memories. These aren't luxurious, but they carry a deep, customized impact that a mass-produced item just can't touch.
And this introduces the powerful core principle. What matters is the intention behind it. We have to shift our focus from the monetary value to the care and thought invested in the gift. If you poured your time and heart into a modest present, that is a generous act.
So how do we apply this when we're facing the pressure of expectations? If your present is modest this year, you should own it. It is modest but meaningful. The intention is the value proposition.
Exactly. And this also opens up a wealth of alternatives to costly items that focus on connection and effort.
Right, like gifts that are inexpensive or even free.
You're giving a piece of yourself or your time. You can offer time by visiting someone who feels lonely. Maybe bring a modest baked treat and just genuinely sit and listen for an afternoon.
Or offering assistance. Maybe you organize a garage, watch a friend's kids for an evening, or help them with a complex task like filing their taxes. You can use your specific abilities, prepare a special meal, create a piece of art or music, or repair something that's broken. These are acts of deep consideration.
People often remember these gifts of service and time far longer than they remember a physical item. The ultimate inexpensive gift is quality time.
Yes.
A focused, simple picnic, a long walk together, or just a movie night with a blanket and focused conversation. This is giving memories, which are limitless.
Okay, now we transition to the second major stressor: social navigation. You have a firm grasp on your own spending, but what do you do about the expensive dinners, the group trips, the lavish outings suggested via group message? You need conversational scripts that are courteous, honest, and protective of your roadmap.
This is where we stop whispering and start speaking clearly. If friends suggest something expensive, the sources give us the language for a direct but polite decline. You don't need to lie or over-explain.
So the script is elegant because it acknowledges the invitation without sort of self-flagellation. I'd be happy to, but I'm unable to pay for it at the moment. Perhaps another time.
It's courteous, it's truthful, and it leaves the door open without making a promise you can't keep.
Or you can be more specific by just stating the limit as a fact. That's slightly beyond my spending limit this month.
Right. If the suggested restaurant is $80 a plate, you can say, that place looks wonderful, but honestly, it's beyond my spending limit right now. It sets a clear, non-negotiable boundary.
And if you still want to join, but the cost is the issue, propose an alternative immediately. Could we do something more modest? I'd love to see you. Maybe coffee instead of dinner, or a potluck at home.
Yes, this shifts the focus back to the relationship, proving you want the connection, just on a more affordable footing.
We also need practical ways to handle that moment of truth, the bill. Don't be shy about suggesting how to split costs.
You can suggest, could we divide the total cost evenly? Meaning, everyone contributes an equal part of the final bill. That's fair in a lot of group settings.
Or, if people ordered very different things, the most responsible action is to say, let's each pay for ourselves. That way, each person only covers their own food and drink, avoiding pressure on those who ordered minimally because of the cost.
This principle extends to gift exchanges too. If a work gift exchange is suggested with a high minimum, say $100, you can proactively and gently address it. Ask, would it be acceptable if we established a more modest price limit? Perhaps $25? I know many of us are managing tight budgets right now.
And the sources note that almost everyone else will breathe a sigh of relief that someone else spoke up first.
Almost always.
So let's talk about the psychological fallout. Managing guilt and self-image. Guilt is that insidious feeling that you did something wrong. You might show up with one small bag, while everyone else has huge wrapped boxes, and the internal thought just screams, my gift is cheap. I'm not generous enough. I failed.
And that is the moment you deploy your counter mantra. You tell yourself, clearly and firmly, I offered what I was able to. Affection and respect are not, and they should never be, measured by cost. Your value is not determined by the size of your gift pile.
This circles back to the final responsible financial rule the sources emphasize. Spend within my capabilities. This means using only the funds you can reasonably spend without jeopardizing your future stability.
And definitely avoiding credit cards for non-essential holiday spending.
Yeah.
Protecting your financial future is not selfish. It is the definition of responsibility. By spending within your capabilities, you are not conforming to the expectations of others. You are protecting your own peace of mind and securing your roadmap for the future. You are choosing control over momentary acceptance.
This has been an incredibly practical deep dive. Before we wrap up, let's do a quick vocabulary recap of the specific actionable phrases and concepts we translated today.
Okay. We covered the vocabulary of control, working with a budget, limited finances, out of money, and the power of saying, I need to save up. Remember the boundary phrases, it's beyond my spending limit, and the ultimate protection, spend within your capabilities.
Then we defined the language of connection, a meaningful gift, demonstrating consideration, and maybe the most important phrase of all. What matters is the intention behind it.
And for social navigation, practice saying, could we divide the total cost? Or let's each pay for ourselves.
We also addressed the feeling words, the pressure and the guilt, and replaced them with the confidence that comes from being economical and responsible.
So what is the ultimate gain here for you? The sources grant you permission to prioritize peace of mind over external spectacle. You are allowed to work with your budget. You are allowed to spend within your capabilities. You're allowed to choose gifts that are modest but meaningful.
The goal isn't a stressful, lavish holiday that leaves you depleted. The goal is a simpler social season with greater control and peace of mind.
I'd encourage you to reflect right now. Which of these phrases or scripts will you use this week to manage an expectation, assert a boundary, or just protect your financial roadmap?
Take ownership of that roadmap. Thank you for joining us for this deep dive.
Take care of your finances, your energy, and your emotions. We'll speak to you next time.